Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Morning Banana Show. My name is Adam, and this is a banana. Could also be a phone. How y'all doing?
Ring, 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 banana phone. Ring, 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 banana phone. I've got this feeling so appealing for us to get together and sing, sing. Ring, 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 banana phone. Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding, banana phone. It grows in bunches. I've got my hunches. It's the best, beats the rest. Cellular, modular, internet, modular. Ring, 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 banana phone.
All right.
Bing bong, bing bong, bing.
Welcome to the Morning Banana Show. My name is Adam. As I said, that's a banana. It's a morning thing for me. Hey, Civilian X. Welcome to the show. I don't have any pre-recorded notes or things that I needed to talk about. My plan was literally to eat a banana, have a coffee, and then get to work. I have a bunch of stuff to do today. So I'm open if anybody wants to chat about anything. In my personal life, I'm watching Seth MacFarlane's The Orville. I'm on season 2, episode 5 and 6. I'm downloading a couple right now. Desiree seems to like it, so we're watching it together. And yesterday I felt productive because there was a heating element at our at restaurant number 1. I call it restaurant number 1. So there's a heating element in the fry pit that was blown, and I felt productive because I was able to go replace it and figure out why the original one kept blowing, because some numbnuts who replaced it last time didn't account for the fact that 2 wires that are running an element shouldn't come in contact with each other, so it just kept arcing. Idiots. But anyway, that's all fixed up. I also was able to fix a plumbing issue that we were having at a rental property. And so I went home feeling good, feeling like I had accomplished some things. I was working on a blue Tacoma yesterday, and I got all the paperwork here for that, and it's still on the hoist. When I'm done with my morning banana, I'm gonna go return that to my customer. And yeah, I felt yesterday like I was productive. So, but one thing I wasn't able to get to was sitting down with you guys and having a morning banana. Still rolling off the buzz of the weekend of having Math Powerland on for 2.5 hours. I honestly did not expect him to chat for that long, but between everybody that submitted me questions and my personal questions for him and the stuff that's going on with him, I thought he's probably going to talk for a while, but wow, he got all his points out and then answered all my questions, so kudos to him. Last I checked, Mr. Math Powerland is on a plane right now. In other news, yeah, Mr. Civilian X in the comments. And I recorded a special shout out yesterday to Mr. Civilian X. You can follow him on Twitter at Bookish Neptune. If you're in the truth community, or if you're a flat earther and you're ever wondering to yourself, does anybody have my back? I know that I'm right. I know that I'm saying things that are true. It turned out that, unbeknownst to me, Mr. Bookish Neptune, Civilian X himself, has been making lists and checking them twice. And there's a lot of trolls on Twitter that are on the globalist cockroach team. I have a whole list of them. There's so many. I don't make lists on YouTube, but then I started noticing these same characters over and over and over again over years, and they never... You answer the question, like about the Pontchartrain Causeway, and then a year later, they ask you the same question. It's like you start noticing that, okay, these people, like, ships disappear over the curve, right? And then you answer that, you have an explanation, and then it's like a year later, same people, yeah, but ships over the curve. It makes no sense. And so anybody who's been on social media for long enough will find that you run into these cockroaches. Like, there's a bunch of them. You can't kill them. They keep making new profiles. There's no other. I was thinking about it. There's no polite thing to call these people. There's, aside from getting into like profanity, there's no polite thing to call them other than trolls or cockroaches. Whether they're paid, whether their motivations are good or whether they're bad, or whether they're just having a laugh, I would love to know. But regardless of what their motivations are, they're doing what they're doing, which is willful deception and willfully frustrating. You know what? I honestly, my personal opinion is what they're doing is keeping the conversation away from the main social media platforms of the various space agencies of the world. And Math, Powerland, and I got into this. People go on about the flat Earth economy. Oh, the flat Earth economy because you're selling bumper stickers and you're selling T-shirts and you're selling merchandise. Well, as far as I'm concerned, I've sold literally 4 bumper stickers. Like, I have flat Earth, they're stealing your money, and Space Force, they're stealing your money, or Space Farce rather. I've sold 4, so I've given more away than I've sold, but I definitely have not made my money back. I have a job. I'm here at my job. I'm not interested in selling merchandise for money, but some people are. But and then those people get made fun of because, oh, you trying to make money in the flat Earth economy, and there is a flat Earth economy, but flip that on its head. There's a globalist economy. There's a globe economy. You know, as far as just the U.S. alone, $18 billion a year is not chump change. And the CSA, I'm in Canada, so we have the Canadian Space Agency. They just announced a new budget. It was $2 billion over the next, I think it's 12 years. And as a part of a wag the dog tactic, because Justin Trudeau is currently in hot water. He's got his I don't want to say his colleagues because they're government employees, but people are resigning that are working with him because of a scandal that he is in right now. And there's I could get into, I mean, I'm in Canada, so I could give you the inside baseball to a lot of scandals that are going on in Canada, but we have 30 million people in Canada. The United States has 300 million and growing. So although we get into some scandalous, salacious things here, nowhere near as terrible as what goes on around the world. But I'll say this about Canada. It's literally owned by the Queen of England, as well as New Zealand and Australia. Oh, hi. I'm almost done this banana, but if anybody wants to say anything, shout outs to Drew there and Civilian X. I'm going to finish these raisins. What's going on in your guys' world? I'm opening up the comments and chatting to people on the live stream for the next couple minutes until the raisins are done. What's going on, guys? How are y'all doing? Thanks for joining me. I appreciate it. Some days I have more things to talk about than others. The day before yesterday, I was going on about Q. Don't drink the Kool-Aid. At work, in front of 2 monitors. Hell. Oh! It's Drew. Going by his real name now. Cool. Yeah. I hear you, man. So we're at the same time zone. It's 9 o'clock there. It's 9 o'clock here. I promised this customer from the Toyota dealership that I would get their vehicle back by noon. So I'm just going to double check my work from yesterday and then bring it back to them. Doing one of those black goo undercoatings. I was so tired when I got home. I just kind of passed out after watching the Orville thing. And poor Desiree. But that rust proofing can be exhausting. This YouTube account is different from my. Oh, okay. Well, everybody needs a Twitter break. I used to take, especially around the Christmas season, because I don't personally celebrate Christmas and I haven't since I was in my early 20s. I'm like a 40-year-old man now. The only reason I look this good is because I'm vegan. So I don't celebrate Christmas, and I used to take off like all of December into January off Twitter. And when I was buying the house, I definitely blocked a lot of people and took a step back. But I don't have any social media platforms outside of Twitter, so I've said this and I'll say it again. Like, if I ever get banned or suspended or deleted, I'm not coming back. Yeah, Civilian X, you watched. So that's 3 hours, right? So my biggest gripe about that podcast was you fly out to California and you get drunk and stoned with Joe Rogan and go on and talk about interdimensional aliens raping children and whatnot. Maybe Alex Jones thinks that he has to get drunk and stoned to have credibility. Can you just go there and not get drunk and stoned with Joe Rogan? Can you please? For the people that support you. Yeah, exactly. I mean, you saw that. I don't want to imitate him with the jaw, rocking your jaw, because I value my teeth. But, yeah, he was grinding his teeth in between words. And you can say, well, he was angry. You could also say he was on cocaine. You know? I wasn't there to watch him snort the line, so I'm not going to say one way or the other, but it was a little out of the ordinary, I would say. I mean, if you're going to get drunk and you're going to get stoned on weed on camera, you might as well. What are you doing off camera? This is what the guy is doing on camera. There was one point when, during that podcast, when Joe Rogan stepped out for a pee break. And you notice that every time they went for a pee break, there was like a lot of shifty eye contact. And I've been there, so I know what they're doing. So, anyway. A lot of shifty eye contact. And, yeah, Rogan comes back. This is what I was getting at. Rogan comes back. And you hear him in the back off camera. Yeah, they're blowing their nose. You might have heard that if you listened to the whole thing. And am I supposed to care? Like, on one hand, I think all drugs should be legal. So I'm a bad person to ask. I just think that if people want to destroy their lives with drugs, let them. Make it all legal. Here in Canada, we have laws like you can't drive. Can you get me a deal on some shocks? Here in Canada, we have laws about driving under the influence. It's like they call it impaired driving. So that's a pretty wide-ranging banner and umbrella. So if you are caught, popping 4 ecstasy pills and going for a drive, or popping MDMA, or if you are wrecked out of your face off of an 8-ball or something like that. It's all the same to the police officer. They'll charge you with impaired driving. Same with marijuana, because they had to do something about the lightweights who can't smoke a joint and drive. I think you guys know my story. Like, I can't smoke marijuana. I cannot. If I do, in my life, I have a handful of times. And I've been like this my whole life, even in my teens, when everybody was smoking dope. At my school, some of my friends were. I lived with a guy once who smoked dope every single day. So, of course, for a couple years, yeah, I tried it. And but I never bought marijuana in my life, believe it or not. That's one true thing. Second thing, when I did it, when I smoked the marijuanas, I would need about 8 to 12 hours of time afterwards to just vegetate and sleep or something, because I could never be social, I could never be around anybody, and it usually made me super self-conscious and want to just go to bed. I don't have trouble sleeping right now, so I think, and Desiree and I joke around about this. I think maybe one day when I retire, we'll make some hash brownies when we have grandchildren or something. Because I'm not. People think I'm a hard ass or whatever because I'm a vegan and I'm straight edge. I drink coffee and I don't drink alcohol or whatever. But yeah, alcohol is way worse. It is. I don't drink. In the last 4 years with Desiree, we've shared maybe 2 bottles of wine. And when we were on vacation on a Caribbean cruise with Carnival, and the ship is known for partying. So a lot of people were getting wasted around us, and we had 9 days. And I said to her, "Hey, we got 9 days away from the kids. Went to the Bahamas, Nassau, the U.S. Virgin Islands." I said, "Hey, you have 9 days. If you want to get wrecked off your face for 2 days straight, that's cool with me." And she didn't want to, and it turns out I didn't want to. One night we split a dark and stormy, and another night we split a beer. And I was so in 9 days I had one drink, I guess, because I had half one night and half the other. It's just not my personality. Like I have drank enough for one lifetime when I was younger. I've done all the drugs and drank all the things that you would want to drink. Remember that I've been in bands, right? So I've been around touring and whatnot. I've been a drummer in a band, been a lead singer. Everybody knows I have AdamJosh.com. So I'm a 40-year-old man now, and it's, I have 2 kids. It's time to grow up, and I'm not secretly boozing. I don't have a little flask that I secretly hit, and I'm not secretly cheating on my girlfriend. I don't have hookers that I go visit on the weekends. I know guys who do crap like that, and I always hated it. So yeah, well, I mean, either you find something enjoyable to drink or don't drink. Like, if you're forcing yourself to enjoy something, then don't do it. Like, people are like, I don't like this beer, but I drink Bud Light. If you enjoy a glass of Merlot, then go get the best Merlot that money can buy and sit down and enjoy it. You know what I mean? But if you can't even do that, then don't force yourself to do it. And I'm at that point where I want something, for me, I'm vegan, so I want it to be vegan. I want it to be high quality. I want it to taste good. And if I have my 1 or 2 glasses of wine a year and I don't enjoy it, that turns me off for another whole year. Our anniversary's come and gone, and I didn't have a glass of wine. I didn't get any alcohol. New Year's came and went. I mean, I can't even remember the last time I drank, to be honest. Doesn't mean we joke around about it. Well, let's get a bottle of wine. Every few months we joke around about it, but I never do. I grew up with alcoholics, and it just gets old. Good scotch. Yeah, I was on a martini thing for a few years in my 20s. I really like martini, which is gin, right? Mostly gin. So I was really on a gin thing for a while. But I'm really bad with alcohol. If I get drinking, then it's basically I want to do everything else. So if I can just stop drinking, then I don't want to do anything else. So I really started trying to get sober and clean up my life in my early 30s. No, late 20s. Make your own. That'd be cool. Make your own wine. Make your own vodka. Get a lot of potatoes. Make your own vodka. Sounds like we're all old. It is what it is. I've been young and I've had my fun. I'm not. I don't even blame the younger kids who get. Like, I have a nephew who's getting into booze quite a bit. I don't even blame them. Just go through whatever phase you need to go through. Don't hurt anybody, and then get out of it. What are you gonna do? You're gonna force somebody to not drink? Gonna force somebody to not party? Your dad died at 42 from cirrhosis, which is liver poisoning, for those of you who don't know. He pickled his liver. Usually, Either he's diabetic or he drank every day. My bet's on the latter. Yeah, my mom is a diabetic. She's had a carotid artery widening surgery, a stint done here. Last time because she had a stroke. Last time she was in the hospital. And it scared the crap out of her for the first, I think, 2 months out of the hospital. And so she quit drinking, and now she's back on the sauce. And she drinks cans of blue. I can't even get across to her. Fifth of gin every day. I guess gin will do it. I'm glad that I never developed a terrible gin habit. Yeah, I mean, the thing with me is like my slogan is like side with the truth and you'll always be right. Another thing that I usually say a lot is like you can't fake where you're at. People think you can fake where you're at. For me, I'm not faking that I'm a vegan. You know, I've been a vegan for 5 years now. I've been sober and I don't drink and no drugs, no alcohol, that type of thing. You can't fake where you're at. This is where I'm at. So I'm not trying to pretend that I'm somewhere that I'm not. Yeah, saw the cans in a trash bag. I'll be honest with you, Mr. Civilian X. Being completely honest, one of the reasons that I have a Twitter account is because I've done a lot of things that I feel like if I didn't reach out to somebody, I would probably have an emotional breakdown. So there's been a lot of things that I've done and that I've helped people, and in certain situations where I don't have anybody to talk to, so I'll tweet. A lot of things, especially before I met Desiree. And so Twitter, for me, has always been like an online journal, a support program. I mean, you get involved. We all get involved in each other's lives. And when somebody falls off or when somebody goes missing, you know, I miss them. I do. There's people that I talk to every day on Twitter. So, like I said, if these trolls come on and then they completely just ruin it. They throw a wrench in the whole work. So, willful deception of people, making sock accounts with their fake profiles and whatnot. Like I have skin in the game. I'm not going to speak on behalf of everybody, but I have skin in the game. My real name is Adam Josh. This is my real office. So, anyway, guys, thank you so much. And I'm going to get to work. It was a pleasure hanging out with you guys this morning while I had my coffee. Almost done it. And we'll catch up on Morning Banana number 13. I'm still open to having call-ins. If anybody here wants to call in to the show, just let me know. And there's still one guest. There's two, actually, that I'm trying to get on. One is She Powerland Math, Powerland's wife. And the other one is Paul Michael Bales on Twitter. Paul Michael Bales, I know that some of you may not know who he is, and some of you may know who he is and say, that guy. Paul Michael Bales was flat before anybody else was that I know. So say what you want, but he actually gave the information from 100 Proofs the Earth is a Globe, written in like the 1800s, to Eric Dubay, and compiled a whole bunch of stuff that Eric Dubay wound up like basically ripping off and becoming the Eric Dubay that we all know now. So Paul Michael Bales, as far as I'm concerned, was first. I'm trying to get him on. The thing is, my girlfriend's a Pisces, and Paul Michael Bales is a Pisces. So if you ask him, questions, this is a Scorpio talking. If you ask him questions like, "Hey, Paul, tell me, what do you think is beyond Antarctica?" This is what Paul will do. Well, Adam, you know, it's love. There's love out there, and there's love below, and there's love above. And you're sitting there like... So there's love outside Antarctica. Okay, so this is why I don't have you on the show. I love the guy, so I'm trying to get him on the show. That should be interesting. But he was flat before anybody else, as far as I know. So thank you so much. Like I said, leave me a message on Twitter if you guys want to be on the show. I got a phone over there, has a pretty good speaker phone. I'm not going to have Google Hangouts or whatever. I don't have time for that. 24 minutes!